Now, Google has entered the world of telecommunications as well. Google users can make phone calls from Gmail. Google's Twitter update this afternoon said over 1 million calls were placed in the service's first 24 hours alone. Joining me to discuss this latest development and what it means for Google's profitability is Sandeep Aggarwal, analyst at Caris Co, and Bloomberg technology reporter Doug MacMillan. So it's a hot story. It's interesting, obviously, because of the challenge to Skype, among other things. Sandeep, let me ask you about Google's ability to make money with this, because historically, there's been concerns about how Google can monetize anything beyond search. Is this one way out?
This seems to us different than the historical examples of Google launching new products. This is less of ad-supported business model. This is basically really tapping into a $1.4 trillion communication industry, and eventually you will have a Skype type of model. I think Google plans to make money by charging 2 cents a minute for international calls eventually, and so it sounds to us a pretty viable business model.
Hang on, so you think they'll eventually charge for this?
Yes, so right now they have introduced this service for US and Canada free of charge. Eventually they will charge. If you look at the closest business model in this space is Skype, and Skype also primarily make money with only maybe less than 10% of the total users making international calls.
Hey Doug, I was telling you during the break, Skype seems so cool to me. I've always thought if I had the time and knew how to download it, I would use it. I don't even know if you have to do that anymore. What's the deal with Google? I mean, does this make it easier for people like me to take advantage of this kind of technology?
Well, I mean, Skype is the leader in the space. There's no doubt. There's over 500 million people using Skype to make calls over the internet. Google has a different kind of audience. They have steadily amassed an audience of over 180 million people using Gmail. It's the third biggest email service on the web. These people, a lot of them have...
web-based. I mean, do you have to download Skype to use it? Do you have to have some kind of application software on your computer?
With Skype, typically you do.
And with Google?
With Google, no. It lives right there in your Gmail.
Sweet.
So they've innovated all along. That's how they've attracted people to Gmail over the years. They introduced video chat and IM before a lot of other email services. So this is another piece of that. And you can now call your buddy on their phone rather than just computer to computer.
Does that, Sandeep, is that one of the reasons that you think Google maybe could have an edge over Skype here? I mean, Skype is obviously established. It's the industry leader. It's almost the term that you use when you talk about sort of video calling over the internet. I guess it is the Pampers and Kleenex of video calling. But can Google get a run for its money?
See, definitely, I think one point which Doug mentioned is important. One is basically in Google is a total cloud computing offering. You don't need to download a small application or a small piece of software in your local computer. That is one thing. Secondly, Google has been seeing a lot of success with their Android-based applications, and they can push this lower cost option along with that. And eventually, you will see Google tablets coming with Android-based operating system, and this is another reason to own that tablet. So, this is, as I mentioned, addressable opportunities. Google has so far, whatever market cap Google has created is built on the $35 billion they generate in the search industry, and the total advertising industry is $700 billion. But the voice industry is roughly $1.4 trillion. And so there's a very big addressable opportunities, and clearly Google has shown series of innovations to penetrate this market.
I think there's a big application also in terms of enterprise. Google has made it clear that they think enterprise applications are over $1 billion business. This could be another way for companies to interact with one another. So tapping into basically
the business segment rather than the consumer segment.
Yeah, video conferencing, teleconferencing is a big opportunity. Cisco and others I've identified. I think Google is coming in the back door with their consumer-facing Gmail, and they may be rolling. You may see this roll out to more businesses.
Let me ask you quickly, Sandeep, before we go to break here. You have a recommendation on Google, average. Why is that?
That's right. Well, I think our average rating is a reflection of a couple of things. One is the core search business, which is around 90 to 92% of Google revenue, is now maturing and slowing down, number one. Number two, Google is now seeing increasing competition from Bing and Yahoo, Facebook, as well as Apple. And number three is, in our view, the non-core business, which one of them is we are discussing now, such as Google Voice and Gmail, but there are also Android, mobile, Google Apps, and YouTube, etc., they are on early stages of revenue growth trajectory as well as margin. So it will be a while before we see Google, kind of, reinvigorating its business model and showing higher growth rate and higher margins.
All right. Hey, Sandeep, thanks so much for joining us. Sandeep Aggarwal there from Caris Co. They have an average rating on Google, a price target of $550. Is at $450.98 today at the close. Doug MacMillan from Bloomberg, thanks so much for joining us. We're taking a quick break, and we're back in 2.